I dig in the dirt and I find what? A worm. Yes, I find a worm. If your garden has worms in it, happy, happy garden. Worm wiggles. Can you do a worm wiggle? Woo, 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 woo. Says, I dig in the dirt. Nice worm wiggles. And I find a rock. I got a lot of those in my dirt. Find a rock. Rock sits. So you just freeze like a rock. Ready? On the count of three, freeze. 1, 2, 3, freeze. We're frozen rocks. He's stuck under that rock. He says, I dig in the dirt. We need to find something else to move us along. And I find a pill bug. Now, when I was little, we called them roly-polies because they roll up to like this. Pill bug curls into a ball. Little worm. That's a happy worm. I dig in the dirt. And I find a seed. Awesome. That better kick away. The bird's going to take that seed. Seed waits. What is seed waiting for, I wonder? Looks like they're all waiting for it. Pill bugs peeking out to wait. I dig in the dirt. And I find a spider. Cool. Spider runs. Ah! Leave me alone. I dig in the dirt. And I find a sprout. How many of you have ever planted these little sprout plants? This is like the beginning of a plant. It could be flower, could be veggie, little sprouts. Raise your hand if you've planted a sprout before. Yeah. This is where some of our best things come from. Seeds, you can start from seeds too. Sprout grows. Here, we're going to grow and grow and grow and grow until we're something amazing. Nice. I dig in the dirt. And I find dirt. Of course we find dirt, right? We found dirt in our dirt. Got both hands in there. Dirt squishes. You ever do that with dirt? Squish, squish, squish. Then I water the dirt. And now I find mud. Oh, those little footprints walking away after you made mud. And that is called dig in. 5 pretty flowers in my garden grew. I bet they smell pretty do. So we bend down and take a big sniff. Ready? One of our flowers blew away. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pretty flowers in my garden grew. I bet they smell pretty do. We bend down and take a big sniff. Ready? We sneezed it away. All right. 1, 2, 3. 3 pretty flowers in my garden grew. I bet they smell pretty too. We bend over and take a big sniff. Ready? Oops. Now we got 1, 2 left. We got to stop sneezing our flowers away. 2 pretty flowers in my garden grew. I bet they smell pretty too. So we take a big sniff, bend over, take a big sniff. One. Just one. 1 pretty flower in my garden grew. I bet it smells pretty too. We bend over and take a big sniff. Ready? No pretty flowers in my garden grew. We should cover our faces when we sneeze with our arm like this, right? Achoo. Then we would not blow our flowers away. The first day of spring, Mrs. Nellie McNosh went out to her garden and she planted a squash. She pushed the seed in with the tip of her toe, and the minute she did it, it started to grow just like that. At first, it was round and as big as a head. In fact, it looked just like the paper boy Fred. Fred Squash. Does look like him. Oh, my darn. Then it turned yellow and bumpy and fat, and it rolled in the garden, and it flattened the cat. Most cats could move a little faster than that. Cat's like, meow. It knocked over trash cans and ran over toes. It twisted the sprinkler and plugged up the hose. They crashed through the clothesline and smashed through the fence, scaring the pants up to elderly gents. They jumped right out of their pants. Yes! That's pretty scared, I guess. Poor Nellie was worried. She said, "Oh my gosh, there's got to be some way to slow down this squash." So she slapped it and scolded it and pinched it and kicked it, none of which worked because it never does. And then she took hold of its stem and she picked it. That works. Now what do? Wondered Mrs. McNosh. I've got to find something to do with this squash. There isn't a place in the world it will fit. It's as big as a house. Wait, said Nellie. That's it. What do you think she's going to do with it? And so by the light of a big yellow moon, she scooped and she scraped and with a long-handled spoon. And when the sun rose, where was Mrs. McNosh? Curled up, sound asleep in her big yellow squash. All right. Has anybody ever cleaned out like an inside of a pumpkin, like on Halloween time, and you clean out the inside of a pumpkin? It's super, super slippery and slimy, which is exactly what this would be. I wonder if she got up to the top of it, and when she jumped in, she slipped all the way down to that part. That would be kind of fun.
Too many tomatoes, too many to see, too many for Grandpa and Grandma and me. A plateful, a crateful, a grateful hooray. This town has too many tomatoes today. Grandpa began with a handful of seeds and sun, soil, and water, as every seed needs. One sprout and another a shout of surprise. Too many tomatoes climb up to the skies. Bursting from barrels and buckets and pails, over the rooftop and over the rails. A holler, a dollar, a nickel, a penny. Sing me a song of tomatoes, too many. Down to the sidewalk and down to the street, drippy and slippery, juicy and sweet. Red ones and yellow ones, shiny and round, jumbling, tumbling over the ground. Oh my, watch out. Tomatoes on trains, tomatoes on tracks, tomatoes on tow trucks with cars on their backs. Tomatoes that topple from towering vines, crawling and sprawling in curly designs. Too many tomatoes, too many to find, too many above, too many behind. This is Farmers Market Saturdays, and where I live on Vashon, we have a farmers market on Saturday too, and last Saturday was the first one of the summer. There are not tomatoes yet, but there were other things. A biscuit to butter, a basket to borrow, sing me a song of tomatoes tomorrow. There it was, tomatoes tomorrow. One for the teacher and one for the tailor, one for the scientist, one for the sailor, one for the painter and one for the plumber, one for the dancer and one for the drummer. One for the man at the magazine stand, one for the girl with a book in her hand. That's me right now. Maybe it's you too. One for the boy sleeping under the tree, one for the neighbor, and one just for me. Is a big tomato. Not as big as a beach ball, but big. Too many tomatoes, too many to trade. Make way for a downtown tomato parade. Wow, that sounds fun. A riddle to fiddle, a tickle to say. Hooray for too many tomatoes today. The end. And there's that snake blanket. My mother has a garden. I'm her helper. I water, I weed, and I chase away the rabbits so they don't eat all the lettuce. Where I live, it's not rabbits, it's the deer. It's hard work, and my mother's garden is very nice. But if I had a garden, there would be no weeds, and the flowers would keep blooming and blooming and never die. Look at all those pretty flowers. There's a sunflower. I think these are hollyhocks. I don't know, a lot of other flowers. In my garden, the flowers could change color just by my thinking about it. Pink, green, blue, purple, even patterns. Wouldn't that be cool? If you could change the color of the flowers just by thinking about it. And if you picked a flower, another one would grow right back in its place. Look at that big armload of flowers. Wow, that's a lot of flowers to carry. In my garden, the rabbits wouldn't eat the lettuce because the rabbits would be chocolate and I would eat them. chocolate rabbits in your garden. How nice. If I planted seashells, I'd grow seashells. If I planted jelly beans, I'd grow a great big jelly bean bush. This is smart. If you don't have a basket to put stuff in the garden, you can use your hat. Unless it's dirty. If it's dirty, don't put it in your hat. Sometimes in my garden, good, unusual things would just pop up. Buttons and umbrellas and rusty old keys. In my garden, there would be birds and butterflies by the hundreds so that the air was humming with wings. Look at all those different colored birds. How pretty is that? The tomatoes would be as big as beach balls. And the carrots would be invisible because I don't like carrots. I like carrots, but the author of the book doesn't like carrots. But I like carrots. But I would like to have a tomato that would fit in a wheelbarrow. I would like that. At night, the morning glories would stay open, shining like stars, and the strawberries would glow like lanterns. I like that. It's night now. Only the fireflies and the porch light are glowing. Before bed, I take one seashell from the shelf in my room and go to the garden. I poke the seashell into the ground. Who knows what might happen? I cover it up with dirt and pat down the dirt with my foot. Just like we tucked ourselves down when we were pretending to be seeds. What are you doing? Asks my mother. Oh, nothing, I say. Just working in my garden. Here is a picture. This is just for pretend of the seashell growing some roots down into the dirt to turn into a seashell plant. That's not really what would happen, but it's fun to pretend.